Hello, and welcome back to the Weary Rascal Crime and Craft channel. On February 14th, 2017, the town of Delphi, Indiana was rocked by one of the most horrific crimes imaginable. But before we begin, if you enjoy our content, be sure to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. For this particular video, I would like to issue a trigger warning. If you are sensitive to hearing about crimes against children, then I would recommend not watching this video. Due to the nature of the content we will be discussing, viewer discretion is advised. Abigail Williams, known as Abby to her loved ones, was born on June 23, 2003. She was a fun, outgoing, and adventurous girl who was attending 8th grade at Delphi Community Middle School, located in Delphi, Indiana. She was a saxophone player in her school band and also played on the volleyball team. She enjoyed reading, photography, and art. In fact, her mother's home was decorated with little masterpieces that Abby created throughout her young life. Aside from that, Abby absolutely loved being outdoors. Some of her other hobbies would include camping, riding ATVs, and swimming. She also loved animals, especially her cat Bongo. Recently, she had gained a passion for playing softball and was excited to join the team for the upcoming softball season. In fact, her love of softball would stem from her friendship with her best friend, Liberty German. We'll talk more about Liberty in a moment. In fact, her mother stated that the girls were dead set on taking over the world by softball. Also, according to Abby's mother, Anna, Abby smiled all the time. There weren't many people that she wasn't the joy of. Abby really enjoyed making things for other people. She would knit hats for people, especially newborns at the local hospital, make rubber band bracelets, paintings, and bead crafts. There wasn't a form of art that Abby hadn't tried her hand at. Liberty German, known as Libby to her friends and family, was born on December 27th of 2002. Libby was also an 8th grade student at Delphi Community Middle School, where she too played saxophone in the school band and was also part of the volleyball team. Libby also enjoyed preparing for the academic bowl in her high ability class. In addition, she also enjoyed painting, doing crafts, going on vacation with her family, swimming, soccer, and playing softball. Although Libby had an interest in solving crimes, finding clues, and the like, her love of science fueled her dreams of one day becoming a science teacher. Being a highly intelligent and mature teen, she would attend several classes at Purdue University to try out different areas and get a feel for what interested her the most. According to Libby's grandparents, you could always tell when Libby was home from school. You'd find a backpack by the door, socks and shoes strewn about the floor, a pile of books on the counter ready for homework, and a sidetracked Libby already working on something else. Often that something else was making up a batch of cookies to share with her family. Libby's grandmother Becky described Libby as their little baker. She could throw together a batch of cookies like no other. Libby's grandfather Mike would reminisce about how she always made sure to save some cookies for her grandpa. Abby and Libby shared a bond that was stronger than most. It was almost as if the girls were sisters. They would often attend sleepovers at one another's houses, play outside together, go for hikes, work on crafts, you name it. In fact, a rare Monday off school in mid-February 2017 prompted the girls to have one of their sleepovers. On February 12th, 13-year-old Abby Williams showed up at the home of her best friend, 14-year-old Libby German. Abby had brought along her big box of arts and crafts and sprawled them across the floor of Libby's room. It was a normal Sunday for the two young girls. During the day, they were out in the backyard practicing their softball swings to prepare themselves for the upcoming softball season, which they were both excitedly anticipating. They spent the evening painting pictures on canvases, giggling, and sharing secrets. You know, normal teenage girl stuff. Monday, February 13th, was unseasonably warm for a February day, so the two friends decided that they wanted to go for a walk at the Monon High Bridge, where they could take pictures, enjoy the scenery, as well as each other's company. Libby's sister, Kelsey German, would drop the girls off Country Road 300 North at around 1:35 p.m. that day, with the understanding that Libby's father, Derek German, would pick them up at around 3:15 that afternoon. The girls were hiking on the Monon High Bridge among the woodland in remote Deer Creek Township. At 2:07 p.m., Libby posted a picture of Abby walking the bridge. Sadly, this would be the last time anybody ever heard from the girls. At 3:15 p.m., Derek, Libby's father, showed up at the area where they agreed to meet up. However, Libby and Abby weren't there. At first, the girls' families looked for Libby and Abby themselves, thinking that they had either gotten lost or simply lost track of time. However, when they weren't able to find the girls, they called the police. Authorities quickly searched the area where the girls went hiking and, at first, didn't suspect any foul play. But this would change when the girls' bodies were found at noon on the following day, a half-mile east of the abandoned bridge, on the north bank of Deer Creek. On February 15, 2017, Indiana State Police began to circulate a still image of an individual who was reportedly seen in the area of the Monon High Bridge near where Abby and Libby were murdered. Although the picture was grainy, you could tell that the suspect was a Caucasian male who was walking with his head down and his hands in his pockets. A few days later, the person in the still image was named the prime suspect in the deaths of Libby and Abby. On February 22nd, law enforcement released a muffled audio recording of the suspect where he could be heard ordering the girls down the hill. At this particular news conference, the authorities credited Libby as the source of the audio and the imagery as they were found on her phone, and praised her as a hero for having had the presence of mind and fortitude to secretly record the exchange. Police indicated that they had additional evidence recovered from Libby's phone, but would not release any further details so as not to compromise the integrity of the case. Additionally, a $41,000 reward was offered for information leading to the arrest of the suspect. On July 17, 2017, police released a composite sketch of someone that they considered a person of prime interest in the case. The sketch was based upon eyewitness accounts of a hiker seen on the Delphi historic trails on the day that the girls disappeared. However, for almost 2 years, no new leads were discussed, and it appeared as though the case had gone cold. Fast forward to April 22, 2019, the Indiana State Police announced a new direction in the case and subsequently released a new sketch of the suspect and encouraged the public to look at the sketch, listen to the audio, study how the man walks on the bridge, and send tips to the tip line email. Investigators also indicated that they believe the suspect may be hiding in plain sight and was almost certainly familiar with the Delphi area due to having either lived there or worked there. Also, a plea was made for help in identifying the driver of a vehicle found abandoned off the Hoosier Heartland Highway in Delphi at the former Child Services office between noon and 5 p.m. on the day of the murders. Then a few months later, on July 23, 2019, a suspect who had been wanted for kidnapping and sexual assault in Tippecanoe County was named as one of the multiple suspects being investigated for the murders of Abby and Libby, according to Carroll County Sheriff Toby Leesenby. This suspect, however, had committed suicide about a month prior. Sadly, after this, the case would seemingly go cold for about another 2 years when, in April 2021, another suspect would be named as a new person of interest, and then it would go cold once again. Finally, after more than 5.5 years of investigating, an arrest was made on October 26, 2022, and the suspect would appear in court 2 days later on October 28th. On October 31st, 5 days after being arrested, Indiana State Police announced that a 50-year-old man named Richard Allen had been charged with 2 counts of murder. He pleaded not guilty and had his trial date set for March of 2023. 2 public defenders were appointed to represent Allen for the duration of his trial. On November 29th, Judge Francis Gall issued an order to unseal the probable cause affidavit that led to the arrest of Richard Allen. According to the redacted document, video footage that had been recovered from Libby's phone showed one of the girls mentioning gun as a man wearing a dark jacket ordered them to go down the hill. Investigators believe the suspect is the man seen in the video. Also, the investigators found a .40 caliber unspent round between the bodies of Abby and Libby. It was later determined that this round came from a gun that was owned by Allen. Additionally, a witness claims to have seen a man walking from the bridge wearing a blue-colored jacket and blue jeans that were muddy and bloody. Another witness, as well as a tip, mentioned that a car was parked oddly and appeared to be parked in a way as if to hide its license plate. According to investigators, Allen was said to have owned a vehicle back in 2017 that matched the description of that same vehicle. According to a probable cause affidavit, Richard Allen was interviewed by the police back in 2017 and stated that he was on the trail for about 2 hours the afternoon of Libby's and Abby's disappearance. The document also stated that in a subsequent interview held back in October of 2022, Allen told authorities that he had worn jeans and a black or blue jacket that day and had gone to the bridge to watch fish. On December 2nd of 2022, Judge Gall issued a gag order until January of 2023. Allen's attorneys argued in a motion to move the trial out of Carroll County based on concerns about juror bias due to what the attorneys described as the extensive media attention and the highly publicized nature of the case in the local area. Authorities have yet to release the actual causes of deaths of Libby German and Abby Williams, as the case is still considered ongoing. Before Allen's arrest, in response to a request from Libby's mother, homeowners across central Indiana have had orange lights installed on their front porches, both to commemorate the girls and to indicate that a murderer remains at large. Also, in August of 2017, the families announced plans to build a sports complex for Delphi in memory of the girls. A nonprofit organization called L&A Park Foundation was formed to celebrate and commemorate the lives of Libby and Abby by creating a place for the appreciation of nature, art, play, and athleticism for future generations. A site was procured a mile to the north of Delphi, and in the years following the girls' deaths, continued progress has been made in the development of the Libby and Abby Memorial Park. In 2020, the L&A Park Foundation was named a recipient of the NBA All-Star 2001 Legacy Grant. At this point, I would like to thank you all for making it to the end of this episode. Once again, if you enjoy our content, please be sure to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. So we'd like to know your thoughts on this case. Please be sure to sound off in the comments section, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.